in a previous episode of the show. Things are apparently not going well for Tennessee, former Tennessee quarterback, Nico Iamaleava. Now, he was a 5-star recruit. He got one of the first big NIL deals to go to Knoxville. He's a Southern California guy. Iamaleava had a $2.4 million payday. So he was sitting on a gold mine in Knoxville, and he wanted more. He wanted, pay me, show me the money, is what he said. Apparently what he said. Reports say he wanted $4 million, and so he held out and was sent packing in a good move by the Tennessee Volunteers. They said, listen, dude, you ain't that good. Get out of here. Your ass is not grass. Your ass is in the portal. So if you haven't heard the latest on this, I think it's worthy of some conversation with you. So let's do it right now if you perhaps missed it. So there were some initial reports that were sent out. The story was from Iamaleava's camp that he had an offer for $4 million. But now we're hearing the other narrative. The other narrative is that not only was that report bogus, that the free agent quarterback, Nico Iamaleava, is not getting anything close to that price point. In fact, it's unlikely that he will get a deal to match what he futzed away, what he fumbled away from Tennessee. Now, there were some people say, well, Bill Belichick needs a quarterback, and he's a college coach now, and what better way to set Belichick up than with a 5-star recruit? Turns out, though, that even though Bill Belichick's at North Carolina now, and he's certainly changed his ways. If you've seen his lady friend, this is not your daddy's Bill Belichick, boys. This is your granddaddy's Bill Belichick, or future granddaddy's Bill Belichick. My God. So Bill Belichick, they're out, supposedly. That's the recruiting nerddom saying that Bill Belichick is not going to add this quarterback at North Carolina. So that means at this point, if you read the room, and I believe I'm reading this right, as I understand it, you've got UCLA. They don't spend a lot of money on players, not football players. Basketball players, sure. And Tulane. And so that's it. So you're either going to New Orleans or Westwood. They're said to be in the mix. We're hearing that multiple schools are playing the waiting game. They think that this is it's like the stock market. You know, we had there was that tariff story, and a lot of the stocks tanked, and then the smart people bought the stocks when they tanked because they shot back up, and so they made a killing. And so the argument is it's kind of like the tariff thing where the player, in this case Nico Iamaleava, the quarterback, the price is going to get down to a very low level, and then you'll be able to get the player. All right, so let us discuss the question. What is the most puzzling part about the market, or the shrinking market for former Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava, and the fact that it's apparently crumbling? So I've got Southwest, Scouting, and Palooza, and we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to take a ride on the wild side is what we're going to do, and we'll have some pecan pie when we get over there. Now, to kick off, for Nico, what big night for Nico. We talked about Nico Harrison earlier. Now we're talking about the quarterback, Iamaleava. But for Iamaleava, the quarterback formerly of Tennessee, this is emasculating capitally. Emasculating capitally. Right? You thought clearly, and the people in your circle, that you were Mr. Big Man on campus. You were it. And reality comes at you fast. You really believed that you were the kingpin, that you could just leave Tennessee and go wherever you wanted. And it's fair to say that your reading comprehension, you might want to get that reading rainbow because you misread the room. You misread the room. You're not the grand poobah you thought you were. And this will likely make you a better player because you've now gotten a major reality check, right? You made a major reality check, or you'll just be gone. We'll never remember your name. But you failed to secure, the big mistake is you failed to secure the bag before you left Knoxville. Like the assumption was, well, he already had a deal. That's why he didn't show up to practice at Tennessee. And he's like, all right, I don't need you guys. I'm not going to show up. Either match the contract or I'm out. But at this point, it's a page turner. But reading the book, in this chapter we're in right now, the way I see it, Nico Iamaleava is looking like a Southwest Airlines customer, and he's looking for one of those want-to-get-away fares. Right? One of those want-to-get-away fares. You talk about overplaying your hand. Now, it is estimated if things go right, he's going to end up losing over $1 million. Giving back the bag. You don't give back the bag. He gave back the bag, if this is correct. And it's like if he goes to the schools that are mentioned, Tulane and UCLA, in terms of college football, as our colleague, the great college basketball coach Doug Gottlieb, what a job he did in Green Bay this year, would say, nobody you, right? Nobody you. Nico Iamaleava has many problems. The first problem, as we said, was that he didn't get the bag before he gave up the bag he had. There's two other problems. Because on one hand, he's not a three-headed, fire-breathing dragon that he was billed to be. He's a mid-player statistically in college football, which does not create the unbelievable excitement. And the other issue, and there's really no way around this, he's not trustworthy. Like, even if you get the player, and I understand NIL is part of it, but you don't handle your business the way that this kid did. And you can say it's his dad's fault or, this guy's fault, that, uncle, whoever, some, relative, I don't know. You can claim it's somebody else, but ultimately you went along for the ride. So there are ways to do this and change schools. You don't hold out before the spring football game. You don't ghost the school you're at that's paying you $2 million. You don't do that. That ain't cool, right? And it's kind of refreshing that you play a stupid game and you win a stupid prize, and so that's where we are. Now, furthermore, to the NFL we go. And another interesting story out of the bayou, the shores of the Mississippi. Follow up to the Derek Carr soap opera. Derek Carr trying to force a divorce. Got to force the divorce with the Saints. Now, how does this Derek Carr situation with the Saints, based on the latest revelations, the big book of revelations, how does this sound to you? So there's more reporting that Derek Carr is faking the severity of the injury because he does not want to play for the Saints. He's faking it. He's malingering. So it sounds to me like a teen drama. Derek Carr is into scouting. I'm not talking about the old Boy Scouts. I'm talking about the scout of pout. He's a scout of pout is what I'm saying. Carr is having a hissy fit. And I know a lot of this is coming from the Saints, but it's a mix of the Saints and other teams. But based on this, Carr is annoyed that the Saints restructured his contract, God forbid, instead of trying to work out a release. Now, I remember Carr and his people planted a story that he was a possibility for the Jets, and then there was a story he was a possibility for the Steelers. And those were obviously planted by people in his circle to try to cultivate the market for Derek Carr. And he's annoyed because it didn't happen. And so now he's stuck there, and he's worried he's going to be boxed into purgatory. So many of these quarterbacks have it's Kirk Cousins syndrome or PTSD, whatever it is. They're so afraid they're going to get the Kirk Cousins. Nobody wants the Kirk Cousins. Now, the Kirk Cousins is where the team gives you a contract, then they go out and draft a quarterback, some hotshot rookie, and then you become marginalized, and the first slump the team goes in, you're benched. You become clipboard Jesus. And the Saints have essentially boxed themselves into a corner based on the contract renegotiation. It seems like they're pretty much stuck with Derek Carr. I mean, there's always a way out. If you really want to get rid of a player, there's always a way out of it. But this is a hot mess, and I'm there for it. I wish I cared about the Saints a little more because it's a really good story. It's just the Saints are irrelevant and Derek Carr's irrelevant. That's the problem. All right, now to baseball, where Juan Soto recently spilled his guts. He yapped recently about the difference between playing for the Yankees and playing for the Mets. And he had mentioned Aaron Judge. His name came up in the conversation, and not having Aaron Judge as a safety blanket behind him in the lineup, which is what he had over in the Bronx. He said of life with the Mets, it's, quote, definitely different, Juan Soto said. He mentioned that he's being pitched differently, that last year he said we had, quote, the best hitter in baseball hitting behind him, meaning Soto. He mentioned that he was getting attacked more and seeing more pitches in the strike zone and less intentional walks than he did in the past. So where are you at on the New York Mets star, the highest paid player in baseball, Juan Soto, grumbling about Aaron Judge no longer being his safety blanket, his teammate, his support in the lineup? So I thought, when I saw this, I thought it was satire. I thought it was butt crack sports. I thought it was Sports Talk Barry. I thought it was fake. It's hilarious. It is wonderful, right? We are in a golden era for dum-da-dum-dum-dum. So Juan Soto is out here with the biggest contract in baseball, and he's having a palooza. It's a pity palooza for Juan Soto. What a terrible look. Dude, you took $765 million. Good for you. You won the Mega Millions. And you knew that Aaron Judge was not leaving the Bronx. This is a great mitzvah. Right? If you wanted Aaron Judge to be your teammate, you could have stayed with the Yankees. They offered you a deal which was a little less than the Mets deal. You chased the money. So there you go. You handpicked the Mets. You wanted to be the highest paid player in all of baseball. You would have been with the Yankees anyway, but you picked the King of Queens. All right. And now we are not even a month in to the new baseball season. The first season, by the way, of the Juan Soto experience, the all-immersive Juan Soto experience. And already he's kvetching. He's whining. It's like that lyrics from the old Madonna song, "Oh, Father, I have sinned." And the other part of this is Pete Alonso is actually playing pretty well behind Juan Soto. He's off to a good start. If you watch the Mets, Alonso's actually done pretty well so far to begin the year. And Juan Soto is on pace to hit 20 home runs and drive in 61 runs. That is his on-pace average with the Metropolitans. And I'm pretty sure you could have gotten a guy out of the Korean League or the Mexican League that would have put those numbers up, and he's getting $46 million. My God. Oh, man. Whee! We'll keep an eye on this. We will keep an eye on this one. That's a developing story. That'll be around for like the next 15 years.